All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakwadash. Giving double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the few sisters that watch. Just coming back with another lesson. Saw some things on news articles and something on Instagram, and just figured, I'll just bring this quick lesson out. One of them days, man. You just constantly praying that Yahweh Shem Shai, come back and take this place out, man, so we can get out of here. But we know that we must endure, and it's gonna be not an easy task, but it's all a trial. To see who's gonna stand stiffly, for the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna get into these to this Instagram post first and foremost what I saw, because Jake seemed to think that they've made it, whether it be Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom, they think they've made it. But what they fail to realize, what we have came into the realization of, through this truth, through the Holy Spirit, is that Esau, the so-called white man, is number one, our enemy, and number two, that we still serve this man. But you still have these Israelites, that don't believe that they're Israelites, think that they made it in this society, man, which is totally false. So we just gonna get a couple articles, and we're gonna get some scriptures. So let's get into it, man. We're gonna first get this Instagram post, because Jake really think they made it, man. Jake really think that they made it.
You want to see a predominantly black neighborhood? Hold on, I got you. You want to see a predominantly black
In it with me and look at these beautiful black owned homes that I was able to come across in Cedar Hill this morning, y'all. If you don't know, Cedar Hill is a part of South Dallas, and South Dallas is full of minorities. Now, this particular gated neighborhood, I was able to see for myself only black people. I only saw black people. And y'all, I was just in so much shock. Look at the view. Look at the view by these homes right here. Y'all, these homes were so nice. I could tell that this neighborhood is very much up and coming. As y'all can tell, there's houses being built. There's still a lot of land. I don't know. This is a gem. And in under a Black History Month, y'all, I wanted to show y'all what our people can do, okay? What our people can have. I love seeing this. It was very much inspiring to me. Stuff like this, especially seeing our people own this, really keeps me going. Y'all, this really keeps me going. In it with me. And
You want to see a predominantly black neighborhood? Hold on, I got you. You want to see a predominantly black neighborhood? Hold on, I got you. You want to see a predominantly black neighborhood? Hold on, I got you.
So you see it, you got so-called Israelites out here. Well, not they are Israelites, but so-called black people out here, posting neighborhoods, like they've made it. In the past, you had booming in economies, small economies that was so-called self-sufficient. You had Black Wall Street, you had Rosewood in Florida, and various other neighborhoods, man. But what these people fail to realize is that regardless of the houses that you have, regardless of what you think you have, you hadn't just picked out a plot of land and built the house on it. You had to go get the loan from somebody. You had to go buy the land from somebody. You had to go get permission to even build a house from somebody. And 9 times out of 10, that was a so-called white man. So these people really think they made it, man. But matter of fact, we're just gonna get into it, man. And it's the curses. So as we go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and I think it's around verse 40 something, 43, I believe. Let's see. So like you, let's see. Okay, yeah. This book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43 says, "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low." And this is speaking of the Israelites, man, the 12 tribes. So, you have these various nations. First and foremost, Esau, Edom. That has shot, to the top, man. That's the top ruling nation right now, Esau, Edom. But even below that, you got Elam, you got Moab, you got Ammon, even Hamites, man. These nations are above Jake. You got to go to, first and foremost, Esau, Edom to get anything. Even the rest of those nations have to go to Esau, Edom to get anything, permission to do whatever, especially here in Babylon the Great. So it says, "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him." So you had to get permission to get that so-called house, that predominantly black neighborhood. You had to get permission to do that, man. So see, Jake get the big head. They get a little money, they get a house, and they think they made it. But what they fail to realize is this man can come and snatch all of that from under your feet. All he got to do is jack the taxes up, the property taxes to the point where you can't pay it. How many people are in debt, trying to maintain these homes? How many people have did illegal things to gain these homes? So that's the point, man. The Israelites get to a place where they think they've made it in this society, man, which is totally false. So it says, Salakia, it says, "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." So Jake, you at the bottom. You at the bottom of society in all categories. Even if you got a nice house, the majority of Israelites are living in poverty, and that's a fact. So with that being said, it's an article that I saw, which is a clear indication that these people, you had to answer to these people, man. It says Georgia college student faces deportation after mistaken traffic stop. So it looks like her name is Examina Arias Cristobal, 19 years old. It says, has been taken into ICE custody following a traffic stop and remained in custody on Monday, triggering concerns about her immigration status. So it says, despite the charges against a Georgia college student being dropped in the wake of her mistaken traffic arrest, the Department of Homeland Security is committed to ordering Examina Arias Cristobal and her father to self-deport, the agency said in a statement. Arias Cristobal, 19, was detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement after being mistakenly stopped for a traffic infraction she did not commit. Says she was arrested on Monday, May 5th in Dalton, Georgia, where her dark gray truck was mistaken for a black pickup that made an illegal turn. Those citations were dropped on Monday once officials realized it was a mix-up. Says Dalton Assistant Police Chief Chris Crossan said. However, she remains in ICE custody at the Stewart Detention Center in Lumpkin, Georgia. ICE records show. Says, so she didn't even do that. You know, you see her right here, all proud and happy. I guess that's a high school graduation. So you look at the smile on her face, man. You know, she thinks she's made it. When she took this picture, she had no idea that Esau Edom was going to snatch her up and try to make her go back to wherever she came from, man. You know, whether it be South America or Mexico, wherever. You know, she had no idea. You know? So, you know, look at the picture right here. She's all smiles. And then you drop down, you know, when they got her detained, man, that smile is gone. You know? And it's all due to the curses. You know, these people think they made it, man. It's okay. I see something about an American dream right here. You know, let's see. It says, we encourage every person who are here illegally to take advantage of this offer to reserve the chance to come back to let me jump up. Says the facts haven't changed. Both father and daughter were in this country illegally, and they have to face the consequences. The department said in a post the United States is offering aliens like this, father and daughter, $1,000 apiece and a free flight to self-deport. Wow. Says we encourage every person here illegally to take advantage of this offer and reserve the chance to come back to the U.S. the right legal way to live an American dream. The department added in a post, if not, you will be arrested, deported without a chance to return. Man, you got to know this man is your enemy, man. Man, whew, Esau Edom ceased to amaze me, man. All right, so we'll go to verse 45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he command thee. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So, you know, that's a clear indication of a curse, man. You know, you spent pretty much a whole life here, making a place here. I think it says she came here when she was like 4 years old, man. Yeah. It says the teen came to the U.S. with her parents when she was 4 years old and is ineligible for relief from deportation through the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program. So this is all she know, man. All she know is Babylon the Great, and now they about to force her to go back wherever she came from, man. Man, this man got to pay. You know, this man has to pay. You know, how about Shemal Shah can't come sooner, man. Soon enough. You know, we ready to get out of here. All right, it says... All right, it says, verse 48, it says, therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. All things, even that house you got, even that land you got, even that graduation certificate that you got. None of that stuff matter, man. You know, this man can take all that back from you, as we see. It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. You know, and that yoke of iron was placed upon our neck during slavery, man, the transatlantic slave trade. You know, and clearly we're destroyed people as of today. So, yeah, that's pretty much it right there, man, on that one. You know, but, you know, hey, in want of all things. So you have no reason to be proud. You have absolutely no reason to be proud here in Babylon the Great. But the fact remains that you still have these people out here trying to save this man. They don't want to believe this truth because we say Esau, Edom, is the devil, is the enemy, But the scriptures say during the end time, Esau, Edom will be ruling, man. So let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So you're under this man's rulership. You are under this man's rulership, whether you want to believe it or not. Whether you want to believe it or not, you have no power here. You are low level in this kingdom. And matter of fact, this is what it is. This is what it is. It's a delusion of grandeur. It says delusions of grandeur are fixed, false beliefs that one is superior, possessing exceptional abilities, fame, wealth, or power. These beliefs are often held with conviction despite contradictory evidence, Salaki. They can manifest as believing oneself to be a celebrity, a supernatural figure, or possessing unique talents. And oftentimes the Israelites do possess these, but in this kingdom, man, you're not above Esau, Edom, or the rest of these nations. And they let you know that every day. So to think that you've made it, think that you're above somebody, think that you are somebody, in this man's kingdom is a delusion of grandeur. It says key aspects of delusions of grandeur. Fixed and false beliefs. It says these are simply not high self-esteem. They are persistent false beliefs that a person that firmly holds. The people that's showing their neighborhoods, thinking they made it is bogus. You see the big smile that the Eve had, when she got her graduation certificate, man. She was happy, man. She thought she actually made it. She and up until that arrest, she probably actually thought she had it made. Delusions of grandeur, but that's the difference between the people of the world and us in this truth. We got a clear understanding of who we are and how it pertains to this man's kingdom. And we know that all these qualities, it says, let's see, believing oneself to be a celebrity, which we are going to be celebrities in the kingdom. It says, and having a supernatural figure. We're going to be supernatural, man. We're going to have powers beyond belief. Possessing unique talents. Hey, in our kingdom, those things are going to come. But if you believe that here in this kingdom, man, you got delusions of grandeur. It says an exaggerated sense of self-importance. And you see Eve most of the time being proud. It says a person sees themselves as greater, more important, or more accomplished than they are. Showing your neighborhood, showing your so-called black prominent neighborhood that can be taken from you at any second, man. And it's vexing, man. Vexing to see so-called black people to think they actually made it here. And this is it. We're bringing the facts out. We're bringing the truth out. It says, even when confronted with evidence that contradicts their belief, they remain unpersuaded. And this truth is going out, and these people don't believe it, man. They're unbelievers. They're being confronted with evidence through the prophets, man, and they still don't believe it. So, that's pretty much where we at. But is it anything else? Well, we can get, we can get, going into Jacob's trouble, because all this stuff will mean nothing in this time. All this stuff is going to be taken away from you, man. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great. so that none is like it, even the time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it, and the elect shall be saved out of it, even though, we're going to fall victim, to the struggle, man, to the hardships. So nobody is exempt, but the difference is the elect is going to make it. So all those houses, your graduation certificates, your so-called bank accounts, your 401ks, all that stuff will be gone soon, man. So stop being proud, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And hey, that northern tribe, they come over here and so-called make a place for themselves, make some money, and they get super proud, and they even start to look down on Judah, look down on the southern kingdom. But the playing field will soon be equal, man. When this man brings his hammer down. So, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson, and we want to constantly give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Shalom.